There's like a pocket of clean water here, tucked away where the current doesn't go. Alright, that should do it. Yep, they're all gone now. Oh man, yeah, like I said, I don't want to stop. You know one thing we can do that's different? Let's watch a truck coming from the cargo harbor. Let's see. Let's watch one coming from our busiest cargo harbor. Oh, I want to see something full, not something empty. Oh, you're full. Donut van going to M&H Clothing. Let's watch him as he goes on his journey. Because it's fun. You don't have any idea where he's going. And he might just have one stop, or he might have many stops. Very hard to tell. It looks like I might also need to build more trash facilities, but we'll worry about that later. So we're following this looping road, and as this is a default road, this tunnel is going to be non-rendered. I've gotten into the habits of, even if I don't strictly need to, I use 2-lane or otherwise modded roads just so you can get the actual tunnel effect when you're going on through first-person view. It becomes really helpful. But yeah, man. One thing when you're playing maps that people create is that you don't know whether they're going to work like nicely or not. Now this map works very nicely. If I had another map that I was building a city, city was going well, but the water level just kept rising and rising and rising and rising. It was like, oh god. I was putting pumps out the wazoo. I was making dams. I was doing anything I could to try to keep the water from flooding my entire city. And there's an example of modded roads having a fully rendered tunnel, which looks a lot nicer than that stupid gap of nothing. So yeah, we're going on that road. Oh, very rude of you, ambulance, although I guess it was kind of rude of us to be so close to the ambulance. Yeah, people in this game drive very rude, but fortunately there is no crash detection. It would be funny if like somebody modded that in. That would be quite amusing to see what kind of disasters and crashes would happen. But alas, people just avoid one another somehow. The little quirks here and there also let you know that this game was made by Europeans. I can't really explain what I mean by that, but you definitely have a more European mentality than the American mentality of the SimCity games. Because, of course, those were developed by Americans, and they were developed, I believe, out in California. So not only do you get a very American sense of things, but you also get a very Southern California type thing. I mean, just look at the style of the freeways and things. But this game, there definitely is more of a European feel to it, which is neither good nor bad. You know, it's a, and the thing is, as we all know, SimCity has been failing us for so long that it was about time that somebody took up the mantle and ran with it. And I'm very glad that this game exists. I mean, and one thing that's true is many people ask why I don't or haven't played SimCity 4 in such a long time. And the honest answer is it's really hard to go back to SimCity 4 once you've played City Skylines. I mean, all these roads, all this traffic. Like, for one thing, the roads wouldn't curve, and for another, you'd just have randomness going on, you know? You'd just have random cars and people driving to random places for no reason, commutes that don't make sense. So, like, things that weren't so bad and didn't really detract from the game now that they're better in this game, it's very hard to want to go back. So that's sort of, it can be explained as the main reason why I haven't gone back to SimCity 4 in such a long time. Also because like it uses a disc, and at least the version that I have, I mean I could probably buy it on Steam for not that much these days, but right now I have it on a disc. I have to load it, and it doesn't always work. And I also haven't tried it with Windows 10 yet. Who knows how that will go? I mean, if anyone out there in the audience who's still watching this series after all this time has any experience with this, please tell me how this works on Windows. Not this, but SimCity 4 works on Windows 10, because City Skylines actually works much better on Windows 10 than it did on Windows 7. I mean, it loads faster, it runs faster. This might seem like it's running like balls, but you should have seen how the city would have run on SimCity, on Windows 7, because I couldn't build a city of more than like 70 or 80,000 without everything just grinding to a halt. The fact that I'm able to get as high as 130,000 um, is a wonderful thing. And also, another little fun thing that I can share with you. It's not confirmed and it's not definite, but in a month or two, I might be getting major upgrades to my computer. My buddy Dwyron, who is your buddy too, most likely if you're watching this, you know, is upgrading his thing, and he's willing to give me a quite nice discount on some of his old parts, which I have to say I am very happy. The only problem is I have to drive 6 hours to pick him up, you know, but that's all right. I like road trips, so that improved performance might be coming. And man, it sucks to be that guy. I think we might be turning around here, or we might be sitting here doing nothing. That's also possible, but at least the fire truck is there, putting out the fire. Yeah, fires happen a lot in the city, and if you find you have a place where there's a lot of little burnout spots, you're definitely going to be wanting to place more fire stations in closer. It's definitely something like you can skimp on certain things in this game. It's not as quite as forgiving as SimCity 4 on skim when it comes to skimping on certain resources, but oh, okay, I don't know why we decided to pull here. Oh, look, all the water and soot and everything is coming at us. It might be raining again. But yeah, we're going to be having this wonderful view of the back of the fire truck until this fire gets put out and we can move along here. You wouldn't think that the fire would burn so hot in the rain, but you'd be surprised. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, that's the other thing I don't like about this driving thing, is when you get stuck behind something big like this, especially when it doesn't move, there is just nothing to see and nothing to do. But, you know, it'll go away eventually once the fire is out. And we can't be too greedy. We don't want the guy's house to burn down, do we? Nah, that would be cruel of us to want such a thing. And see, what's that too bad? Nah. Oh, and we're already there. Unload your cargo. Alright, the majority of the cargo is unloaded, but there is another spot that they're probably going to go to. I mean, they could just bring this straight back to the cargo harbor, but that would seem a little bit pointless. I mean, most likely they're going to go to at least one more spot and unload the rest. And it's kind of weird how it works, because sometimes that spot will be like right next to the first spot where they did it, and sometimes it will be clear on the other side of the map. So you just don't know. It's a mysterious way these things work out sometimes. Mm. But yeah, we are on the road again, going to the next location. But yeah, man, not only will I be getting new computer parts, but I'm going to be having somebody competent, that person being Byron, of course, is going to set it up for me, which is really nice because I have no ability with computers, you know. Getting all that running is a bitch. So that's going to be good. And who knows, maybe when that happens, I'll be able to make cities well in excess of what I've managed to build here. Maybe I'll have cities of 200, 300, 400,000 people. I mean, I've seen videos on YouTube of people with very big cities, and I think that was lightning. Holy crap. So let's see. We're still within the same general vicinity, but we might be leaving the town soon. We might be going back out onto the highway. It's hard to know. I mean, I see the highway. Could be going there. Could be going somewhere else. And once again, we've been on the ground so long, we're turned around. I'm not exactly sure what part of the map that we're even on. But yep, it looks like we were getting back on the Autobahn. European game, gotta say Autobahn. You don't have to say it like that, but I don't think anyone actually says it like that. But yeah, the city is working pretty efficiently. There are some cities, it doesn't happen too often on this game, but sometimes you'll get cities that will have this huge abandoned zones, and it's really not self-explanatory to figure out why. I mean, usually you can sort of work out the reasoning. Ooh. We are going back somewhat the way we came because we're going back to this large multi-lane road here. I do like how it looks, you know, the 6 lanes, trees on the side, grassy zone for the sidewalk. I think that's a kind of a road I should use more often to add to the niceness of certain areas. And the other thing I really like is the idea you can just build bridges and roads over other roads and bridges, because I've wanted to do that since the days of SimCity 2000. And I can tell you a literal 20-year time period passed between when I wanted to do it and when I was finally able to do it. So I can tell you just what a huge and wonderful thing that is to be able to do that. And that's something I'll never get tired of. I mean, the first few cities I made, I just did it just to do it. Just like random spurts of roads that really didn't have a purpose and went nowhere. But now, I mean, look at that bridge. It's just cool, you know? Hangs out over the road. Cars down here, cars up there. Everything is working fine. We're actually kind of going back in the region of the cargo harbor, but we might get to the spot where we might actually see this guy go on the weird traffic light on the expressway. But since he's gone over to the left lane, I kind of think he's probably going to be going left at one of these spots. By one of these spots, apparently it means this one. Yeah, this is nice. This is neato. So yeah, it's in this urban area, which makes sense that it would be fairly close to the cargo harbor, because if it was not, it probably could have used one of the other cargo harbors or the train terminal, which actually isn't all that used. There are some maps out there that just don't have ports or just don't have trains. You just need a highway entrance. So Yeah, very simple. Man, can you see the shadow shifting? Night is falling once again. Oh wow, did that ambulance just splash us? I think it might have. Man. But yeah, look at that. Just look how cool all this looks. This game just really works, I gotta say. But probably this donut van will be the last thing that we watch for this ride and drive session. I mean, there's other parts of the city that we can take a look at, but, you know, I can only put so much video on my hard drive before it's time to compress it, and it becomes a monster. So, we want to keep things nice. Yeah, but the best of the best shops. It's a cool name, I guess. There's only like a small handful of names, so they'll get things like that. Not sure why we're stopping on a green light, but we are. Yeah, I get little quirks like that. Maybe there wasn't enough room on wherever he's going. Yeah, like this looks in many ways like it could be a real place. Any of these cities that are designed not completely stupidly do look real. They do look like they could be real places where real actions in real life can occur. Man, people are walking very casually for the gale that's coming down. I mean, the wind is being blown every which way, and they're like, da da dum, you know. Excuse me. But yeah, one thing I do have to do is download the DLC so I can get Snowfall and some of the other things. I mean, this game is good enough that even though I don't like to buy too many games, it deserves my money. It deserves for me to spend that money on the DLC. And you know what? It's actually sensible DLC because this is a complete game. Like right now, I have no DLC whatsoever, but it's a complete game. And the DLC does what DLC should do, which is actually add more content, not add content that should have been in the base game. So these guys really did everything right. Paradox, Colossal Order, whoever else was involved, my hat's off to you. Literally, my hat is not on my head right now. It's sitting on the peg. All three of my hats are on. Actually, two of my hats are on the peg, and one of my hats is on the table. So, but the point is, they're all off. None of those hats are being worn. So, my hat is literally off. Man. Yeah, I can't get over how casually everyone is walking. Because you'd think they'd be just running to get out from cover. Oh no, poor old people are trying to walk to avoid the gale coming down. It's kind of sad. Oh man, but now we have to wait behind the bus as it loads and unloads its passengers. Like I said, we don't really have the most efficient bus system here. And yes, there is bus bunching, as you can see, where the buses will come one after another. But if it's really crowded, it's actually not that big of a deal because if you can't get on the first bus, you can get on the next bus, which comes directly after. But I like these urban canyons you can drive through, just like down the street, and there's all these buildings on either side of you, and it's just really neat and cool. And the buildings aren't all cubes. They have different shapes, so even if you're on completely right angle roads, you'll have interesting formations. And I think up here is where we get back on the highway. So that's going to be good. Yes. That means we can zippity zip right on through to the cargo harbor once again to wrap this all up. Man, yeah, it is some storm going on. Yeah, building a road without expressway is going to be pretty hard, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of traffic snags. But hopefully, with enough public transportation and strategic placement of national roads and the few expressways that I will allow myself to build, we can get people where they need to go, especially trucks and things. Some intelligent design, making them work out pretty well. But yeah, here we go. And this is our exit. We are going to get back on the cargo harbor. We're going underground during the gale. Yeah, so another graphical flaw of this game is that when you're in a tunnel, even if it is a fully rendered tunnel, you'll still see rain, which doesn't make any sense. But, you know, it's little details like that that are, like, if they actually did do them, I'd be really impressed. But the fact that they haven't isn't really a big deal. Like, you can't expect them to go that nuts. So, it's pretty nice. As you can see, line of trucks. And this is where things are going to get a little bit silly. Because actually, wait, we're not getting that close to the truck. That's good. Because I thought we were going to smash it. Oh, yep, there we go. Oh. But yeah, a lot of times what will happen is the vehicle you're watching will get right up to the truck, and you will not be able to see anything. Man, even the truck is affected by the weather effects. That's really cool. Oh, and there's our harbor. You can see the bridge in the distance with its lights. See that? Yeah, there it is. But yeah, these are much smaller lines than I've seen at some other points. You know, there can be really huge lines, and that trucks will despawn and things. Like Santa Palma had a bit of that problem, and a couple other cities that I'll show you really had that problem. So poopiness is a thing that can happen with this, but I've managed to mitigate it to the best of my ability. Right, almost there. Very close to being there. Let the trucks go in. And very soon we are going to be into, which is going to be a very wonderful thing. Alright, now it's our turn. Man, that car is parked in a very precarious spot. In he goes, and there we have it, folks. We came through that line, went into the place, and that is that. Those ships look really cool at night. It is. Cargo ships are a little more dour. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of this drive and ramble. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me any thoughts about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in the future, all those things, you know. Just tell me anything you want, really, you know. Got a problem? Ask me. I'll solve it for you. Probably. Probably not, actually. But whatever you want. So anyway, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end. So, see you guys next time.